What's up guys, this is Matt over here at Fitness Fusion 24/7 and welcome to the very first video in a multi-part series completely dedicated to teaching you everything there is to know about sled training. In this first video, we're not only going to cover the basic principles and fundamentals of sled training, but we're going to cover the classic exercise, the first exercise we're going to go over, the sled push. These sleds are quite possibly the greatest and most valuable piece of exercise equipment I have in my entire gym, and here's why.
Tonight, a man pushes a sled. The sled, quite possibly the greatest and most valuable piece of equipment in Matt's gym. It comes in two different versions. There's the straight sled and the prowler. The straight sled, the more muscle car of the two. It comes with 5 poles for loading weight. One in the center and one at each of the 4 corners. Fully loaded, this sled can hold a staggering 6,930 pounds. That's almost as much as your mom. Its more aerodynamic sports car-like cousin, the prowler, sits on 3 small skis, and it too has a center pole for loading weights. The back end of the prowler features 2 upright pulls, not just for handles used for pushing, but they too can be utilized for loading weight. Weighing in at a modest 60 pounds, the prowler has a maximum payload of just 3,930 pounds. It even features an adjustable low bar attachment for extra quad stimulation, as well as for blowing smoke rings onto. So what makes the sled so great? For starters, it's versatility. You see, not only can you push the sled, but you can also pull the sled. You can specifically target every major muscle group with the sled. Not just your legs or your back, but your triceps, your biceps, and even your chest. Not only is the sled absolutely perfect for when it comes to training strength, speed, stamina, and power, but it is also a great tool for recovery. You see, the sled is a constant concentric contraction, meaning that you are continually performing the positive portion of the exercise and never the negative portion, as you cannot reverse push the sled. As we know, performing a constant concentric contraction will help to facilitate more blood flow to your muscles, tendons, and joints. More blood flow translates to faster recovery and growth. It is not unheard of to perform a light sled training workout a day or two after a heavy leg day. It will alleviate some soreness as well as make it less difficult to climb stairs or use the loo. Sled training is also joint friendly, so to all the washed up meatheads who can no longer squat, bench or deadlift what they used to, rest assured that you can still move massive amounts of weight without destroying your body. It is with these blood flow promoting and joint friendly properties that also make the sled ideal for rehabbing an injury. So, how far do you push the sled? Well, most studies show that you are at your most athletic between the 12 to 15 yards, or in the Queen's English, 12 to 15 meters range. Here at Fitness Fusion, we push from behind the red line, past the yellow, and then back past the red, putting us at 12.6 meters. Another thing to consider is the type of surface you're pushing on. Most sleds are pushed on rubber mats, concrete, or turf, which all have a different friction coefficient depending on what shoes you wear. Here at Fitness Fusion, we have a turf, which admittedly can get a bit slippery. However, every number on our board for the Sled Push Max has been done without the use of cleats. So, what shoes do you wear? A classic go-to is the Converse Chuck Taylors. Their flat outsoles make them ideal for performing deadlifts, squats, and even their original purpose, basketball. Right. But trying to perform a heavy sled push while wearing them is the equivalent of trying to push a sled on ice. You're going to need some shoes with tread. Now, surprisingly, New Balance makes some trail riding shoes with a decent amount of tread, or any hiking sneakers will do. Or you can get yourself a pair of these.
Now let me hear the bass.
The No Bowl trainers are one of the best and well-rounded training shoes on the market, with an aggressive outsole that will give you plenty of traction. Or if you're a Nike fan, they've got you covered as well, with the gold standard when it comes to training shoes, the Nike Metcons. Or these.
If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
That's right, The Rock has his own shoe. What can't this man do besides beat paper? Whether he is kicking ass in the gym, on the big screen, or in the ring, The Rock trains in these Under Armour Project Rock 1 sneakers. There'll be no more sliding people's elbows with this aggressive tread pattern. Pick up a pair of these and you too can be as great as the Great One. Or save some money and get yourself a pair of Reeboks. Though they are not fireproof, these Reebok CrossFit TR Speeds certainly look cool surrounded by it. They also come with an aggressive tread pattern that will give you plenty of grip without breaking the bank. So, how does one go about actually pushing the sled? I'm glad you asked, Jeremy. First off, you want to start by grabbing your sled. Do not grab too high, as it'll put all of the weight onto your wrists. Grab at a point where your forearms are parallel to the ground. Make sure not to arch your back. Chest forward and hips forward. Keep your shins close to the ground and your heels off the ground. If your heels are on the ground, you're not going to push anything. Shins close, heels off, and keep your toes in contact with the ground at all times. Make sure your body is at a 45-degree angle, like a ramp. If you grab too high, you'll end up lifting the sled instead of pushing it. Simply adjust your grip by sliding down. Do not return your heel to the ground after each step. Remember, heels never touch the ground. If you're going to be doing some sled sprints, you're going to want to use the prowler. And you're going to want to extend your arms. This is going to give you greater hip extension. Remember, lightweight means arms straight. Heavy ass weight, you're going to want to bend those arms. Do not crisscross your feet. And don't push with your feet too wide either. Keep your feet at a normal, comfortable position in line with your hips. Do not let your elbows flare out. Drive your elbows into your ribs or your triceps into your lats. Do not let your elbows get in front of you. Keep them on your sides. Here's another look at what I'm talking about. This is elbows in front of you. You want them tucked to your side the right way. Drive your chest and your hips forward to maintain that 45-degree angle. How you grab the sled is important too. You don't want to grab like this with your knuckles. You want to grab with the meat of your hands. If you find yourself doing this, simply rotate your hands out like so and
Firmly grasp it! That ought to do it.
here's another look. This is grabbing with the meat of the palm. And here is me grabbing it with my knuckles. Save your wrists and grab it the right way. The same goes for the low bar attachment. Here's me grabbing with my knuckles with a bent wrist. You want to grab with the meat of the hands, keeping the wrists straight, thus evenly distributing the weight throughout the body. Bent wrist, bad. Straight wrists, good. For the low bar, you want to make sure your arms are straight and your back is straight. If your arms are bent and you're coming too far forward, you're going to end up impaling yourself on the center pole. Back up and straighten out. Now say you're pushing some heavy ass weight and you have fully loaded the center pole. You can't put a plate on top as it's just going to slide around, and you don't want that. Simply put plates on the extra poles provided on the sled. Push from behind the added weight. You do not want to push with the added weight in the front of the sled. This will be impossible. Now that you're done pushing the sled, it's time to put your weights away. But how do you get the plates off of this thing? Simply grab in front, reach under, and around. Nope, not that way. Grab in front, away from you, reach under, and around. There you go. This works with most plates. Good job.
Alright guys, that concludes this episode of Sled Training. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from it. And I really hope you add sled training into your routine. Anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time.